Hello everyone and welcome to the Wing Commander movie!
I've never heard of Wing Commander.
Basically, Joe, Wing Commander is a gaming series where you're in space and you play as a commander destroying the enemy.
That sounds like Space Invaders.
It's basically Jova, a classic space opera story akin to the original Star Wars trilogy. However, there's a bit more.
It was the other major franchise that the Origin studio had other than Ultima. So technically now this is an EA Electronic Arts IP. So you can imagine the end that this franchise has met.
Of course.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the movie.
Unlike most other video game adaptations, however, this one is actually directed by Chris Roberts, the guy who created the series. So surely he can't fuck this up, right?
Well, well, as Ubisoft and sadly even Nintendo themselves have shown, that's not always going to be a saving grace. Although I will admit, I do like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Alright, we're going to start just before the 20th Century Fox logo in 3, 2, 1, click.
By the way, Disney are going to own this if the regulator goes by.
And so we begin two movies. So it's funny because this and Phantom Menace were the two big movies in 1999 that probably scarred Pedro for life.
Whereas Santa...
remember, Dweebs, up until a couple of years later, this was still like the dark age of cinema. So I'm not surprised at all. Yes, Jova.
No Prisoners production. And digital Anvil. Yeah.
Why is it that those names seem very fitting for a crap movie?
I know.
Yeah. The actual game developers themselves were involved in the movie too.
Okay, I'm gonna be quite honest. I have not heard of Wing Commander. I'm not even sure I've heard of the guy behind it. In fact, I don't even know if I've heard of the video game company who was behind it.
The Origin studio back in the day was interesting in a sense. It was very creative.
All I know is.
For Wing Commander itself, they tried to spice things up with the full motion video, and I mean live action one, similar to what NetherRealm Studios did back in the day with, say, some Mortal Kombat games.
I see that this is another movie that has live action Fred and Shaggy, and it's like, seriously, what is up with Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. showing up and stuff together?
Okay. The reason.
Oh my God! That opening theme. It sounded almost like da 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 on the first.
The main theme's done by David Arnold.
All they really had to do was like take the scripts of 4 or 5 and quickly adapt to the screen like.
David Suchet is in this movie. Hercule Poirot is in this movie.
David Warner.
Who's that?
He's in Star Trek most often.
Also, another thing, again, the original series, thanks to this full motion video, had the ability to cast in, for those little time, actors like Mark Hamill, of all people. So
wait, Mark Hamill's in this?
Yeah, that's the problem. He's nowhere in this movie.
Oh, let me guess. He's like a main A-lister in the games, but for some reason they didn't include him in this.
He has a minor voice role in the movie.
Yes.
Well, that's still stupid, though. I mean, just a minor voice role. Wait, depends.
You know, if I recall, he actually played an important character in the games.
Oh. Yeah, then it's pretty dumb that they didn't include him as a main casting. I mean, it's Mark frickin' Hamill. The guy does do... You know, the guy... It's not like the guy stopped doing live-action acting. Seriously. What... And not only that, this was at a point where, yes, he was rising in fame very well, thanks to the likes of Star Wars and, you know, even Batman the Animated Series, so...
I was just going to say, the reason why this movie is even a thing in the first place is because when Chris Roberts left Digital Anvil, or Origin Systems, whatever it was, he and EA agreed a deal where he would direct a live-action movie.
What did EA get out of it?
This
serves him right.
But don't worry, guys. I'm sure this movie's writing is in capable hands.
Anyway, Jova,
it's written by the guy who made the first Mortal Kombat movie.
What is with you British people and screwing up our American video game ports, movies, live action stuff?
Actually, Origin was a British company. I'm not kidding, Jova. One of the main guys was literally called Lord British.
Like, seriously, I swear to God, most of these bad video game adaptation
Anyway,
films
the
tend to
setting
be...
for the Wing Commander franchise is relatively simple. You got the humans, similar to Gundam in that way. The humans are stationed, have colonized a lot of space, but they're in open conflict with this race of cat people. I forgot the name. What they're called.
Wait, cat people, did William Shatner have a hand in this?
Actually, Tio, Digital Anvil and Origin are American.
I swear, I thought at least the game company
Nah.
Origin was British.
So the British screwed up an American-made product.
No, Joe, I just told you they aren't.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, but the
anyway,
filmmakers are
copy.
British, though. That's the thing.
Essentially, consider those cat people kind of like the Klingons, in a sense that they're very war-happy.
Nokia.
Wasn't the Super Mario Brothers movie also made by the Brits, too?
No, Chris Roberts American too.
I thought some of people were.
Ah.
I wish I was playing Chicken Invaders instead.
Seriously, Space Invaders, come on.
Are you sure we're not actually watching an LP of the game?
Sadly, no, Libs.
Wow, if that were the case, I'd have to say these are pretty good game graphics for that time.
So, yeah,
Also,
they're being attacked by the Kilrathi.
Okay.
Yeah, the cat people, that's what they're called.
Wow,
Yeah,
look at that. They're dropping explosions.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a bombing scene, but it's very unclear.
There's David Suchet.
Playing not Picard by the looks of it.
And it's surprisingly tall. Usually in his roles he appears as very short.
Maybe he's taller than the other cast members here.
I don't know if you know this, he also appeared in Doctor Who.
They they either gave him lifts to make him taller than he normally is.
Wait. They spelled breach wrong.
Yes. That's another thing, Jova. Chris Roberts apparently is too stupid to spell properly.
He spells breach wrong.
What exactly did Chris Roberts do for the film? Like, I'm guessing he was the director?
He was the director, yeah.
The director. The fact which actually looked at this footage and he didn't notice that or he just didn't care.
So yeah, because
David
the enemy
Suchet is packing heat.
Trying to destroy that would give the enemy vital clues, but that glass is bulletproof.
Well, it's made on purpose.
Did you seriously not think to put a code-protected door in there or something?
So, regarding Chris Roberts' stance here, was he like losing his product after this movie or something?
Origin started having real trouble in the early 2000s, I think, and then was acquired by Electronic Arts.
Well, we all know that was a death sentence. I'm just wondering, I mean, up till then.
No, yeah, the reason why it was acquired by Electronic Arts was because it wasn't doing that great. Let me check all the details might as well.
There's David Warner.
So he apparently made a deal with EA for this movie. Like, what? Was he, like, gonna get booted out?
No. Let me check. You can keep going. I'm gonna check when. Oh no, actually it was acquired in 1992, so yeah, this movie was done way ahead in production.
Oh, so EA oversaw this.
So yeah.
That makes a lot more sense now that I think about it.
Although I don't remember
this was also the year when Ultima 9 came out, so that was
1999?
Yeah.
Although from what I've researched, I don't remember any sign of hearing anything about executive meddling. In fact, years later, Chris Roberts actually said that he wished there were executive meddling to stop him making any stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Then boo on EA for not having the proper rights and, intelligence to provide such.
To give an idea,
that'd be more the job of the film's producers / executive producers.
But if EA were overseeing this, they should have included
Wing Commander
such.
game officially was Wing Commander Prophecy in 1997, with an expansion 1 year later. And that was literally it. The last Ultima game was in 1999, and 5 years later, in 2004, EA, as per tradition, mercilessly killed the company.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, this is what happens if you let a game designer who has no experience in filmmaking make a film.
Well, to be fair, Dibs, this is only one example. I'm pretty sure it could work in other circumstances.
If I have to be honest, Bo, I don't even see the point of making a Wing Commander movie.
Yeah,
like, the games themselves were already almost movies in their own right.
Yeah, because of the FMVs, but they didn't have a lot of story to tell.
And
we've got now we've got Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard as the main characters.
In case you wonder, Jova, Freddie Prinze Jr. is playing the character who was portrayed by Mark Hamill in the vast majority of the franchise.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Christopher Maverick Player.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We replaced Mark fucking Hamill with Freddie Prinze Jr.
To be fair, Freddie Prinze Jr. is a good actor, and I don't blame him for this. I mean, I blame whoever's dumb.
It's just when you have to switch like this, it's like having big shoes to fill.
But it's such a step down. It's a step down. I mean, it's Mark fucking Hamill.
Well,
this was the era in which Freddie Prinze Jr. was really struggling with his acting.
Didn't She's All That help him?
But that wasn't a drama. That was a comedy.
That movie didn't really require any
rom-com
acting on his part, honestly. So.
But he did do good acting nonetheless.
Oh god, floppies.
Let's see.
I'm sorry, guys. This was 1999. I think you could have squeezed in a CD.
To be fair, floppies were still a thing around the time.
Yes, I actually used them a lot in my computer class.
Let's see.
Not just that, but here's an interesting thing. We also had Biff from Back to the Future. We had John Rhys Davies.
Yeah.
We had a stellar cast of A-list actors, and now we're replacing them with two actors who were still too young and still had to develop their skills further.
And Matthew Lillard at this point was definitely a good actor. That I'm definitely gonna hold on.
Well, I can tell that he's shit in this movie though.
Well, to be fair, from what I've heard, the writing doesn't exactly help. Like, again, you could be the best actor, but even still, how good your acting is allowed to depends on the script.
To me, Jova, it's just a sign of the fact that the director, Chris, didn't know actually what it was he doing.
Okay, do we have any clarification as to reasons why Mark Hamill wasn't included? Like, what was it, Chris Roberts' decision? Was it because he was busy with something?
The only thing I can remember was because of the more obvious thing, the fact that the movie didn't have that much of a budget, only 30 millions. And remember, the reason why we could get all those actors for those full motion videos was because they were relatively short. So they could hire the actor for those short period of time in order to do like a 5-minute video or something.
All right, let me check.
Not the same of a full movie. Which, my other theory is that they actually originally wanted to make a TV series out of this instead of a proper movie.
One aspect this film tries to tackle is prejudice. Basically, Blair's part of this group who are very, very smart and can calculate stuff at a moment's notice, but whose people are always prejudiced against for being traitors and saboteurs.
Yeah, and here's the first thing. One, that has nothing to do with the games. What the hell is it doing in this movie? Second, so you're telling me that the Pilgrim's ability is that they can commandeer a spaceship without computers, even though every single spaceship has computers. So what uses this ability for? Hey Jova, look at this. I can write on this computer without using the keyboard. Never mind that the keyboard is right here in front of me, so I might as well just use it. But yeah, I'm awesome somehow.
It's like with Lost in Space, where the supposed advancements in technology seem like downgrades when you actually think about it.
Oh, and can I just mention how annoying? Can I just mention how annoying Matthew Lillard is in this movie?
So apparently,
we'll have plenty of scenes to complain about that.
Apparently, Malcolm McDowell was also in the original games too.
Yes, Malcolm McDowell.
Let me guess. He played the villain.
Well, it's complicated.
He played an
When we-
antagonist of sorts, though, didn't he?
Again, let's not bog it down too much. Otherwise, we'll spend half the
Yeah.
commentary.
Well, I'm just
Yeah,
mainly
yeah,
wondering,
yeah.
Mick, well, did he also get, replaced here by whoever?
Everybody got replaced. None of the actors from the games returned. Which again, stellar cast of actors. And you couldn't get them. I mean, I get that this movie only had like 30 million as a budget, but I'm pretty sure the game's budgets were not that big.
Hey, EA,
Like,
maybe you might
I
want to give
I
a
think
better
Commander 3
budget.
cost like 6 million. Well, funny enough, Jover, Chris Roberts actually threw in $3 million of his own money for this.
So, why couldn't EA have given a proper budget?
I thought that'd have been more Fox's responsibility, since they were the
If a game, it's
distributors.
It's always
Okay.
going to be complicated with
If a
this
game is
news.
60
Remember,
million-
with the Assassin's Creed movie, Ubisoft actually pushed a lot of the budget for that, as opposed to the film studio that hosted it. Video game adaptation movies are an interesting business when it comes to film economics, to say the least.
Yeah.
hold on, here we go.
Woo! This ride, wee!
They survived this.
So,
Not just that.
let me guess, they got
Literally
thrown.
space fart.
Let me guess, they got thrown through time, and oh my god, Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, whichever that was holding his hands up like he's on a roller coaster.
Matthew Lillard.
Oh, okay.
Matthew Lillard's the white-haired one.
Also, Java, to answer your question, Malcolm McDowell's role in this movie is done by David Warner.
Ah, okay.
Yes, Shaggy, I know. Swallow me, mom.
Well, that happened, I guess.
Let's move
Can
on.
I also mention that I'm not really I mean, again, I know you shouldn't judge by appearances most of the time, but Freddie Prinze Jr. don't really look like a wing commander.
Wait,
No.
wait, hold on. Wing commanders have a certain appearance?
Well, he doesn't look. He doesn't really look like. Okay, when you think of again, Luke Skywalker. When you look at Mark Hamill,
classic X-wing pilots.
I have...
where Freddie Prinze Jr. just looks like your stereotypical high school popular kid, which is appropriate considering his roles beside this.
Maybe it's because I haven't played the games, but I'm not really seeing anything that makes him look less of a wing commander than anyone else, really.
That's because the appearance is screwed up all over the place, Jova.
Okay. And when I'm talking about appearances, I'm not even talking about making him look like the character he's supposed to look like. I'm just saying wing commanders in general.
Let me put it this way, Jova. Imagine if they made... if we made a Star Wars movie that took place after Episode 6.
Obvious Episode 7 joke.
Well, okay, in between 6 and 7. If they made a movie in between 6 and 7 where Luke's role is played by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, okay.
For some reason.
Okay. So when you say that he doesn't look like a wing commander, you're talking specifically that he doesn't look like his actual character.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Well, okay, now that makes more sense, but when you say he doesn't look like a wing commander, I assume you're just talking about wing commanders in general.
Mark Hamill, well, let me put it this way. The character Mark Hamill in the games is basically a very serious and, and Mark Hamill's performance as that character is a very serious and more somber performance than his Luke persona. So the fact that we have this guy who kind of looks like a dweeb, it just doesn't fit the kind of character that he was in the game.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Let me elaborate. When you say wing commander, is wing commander referring to one specific character? Because again, like I said,
He just doesn't look like someone who can command. He doesn't look like someone who can really command.
It's a fancy name for X-wing pilot.
Okay. Then again, I reiterate. I can get him not looking like his actual character, but what I'm saying is like, well, if you're gonna say that he doesn't look like a wing commander, like any wing commander, then I don't agree with that. I mean, okay, look, just say,
It's
he doesn't...
for the military, the uniform not being that appealing.
Yeah, I mean, basically, just say he doesn't look like whatever... Just say he doesn't...
In the game, they were kind of generic there, too.
Yeah, basically, just say he doesn't look like the specific character. That makes more sense.
Also, Pedro, from what you said before...
That's his Creed's name, Pilgrims.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying to you?
Yes,
No,
Tim?
Pedro, for what you said before, instead of Freddie Prinze Jr., try Matthew Mercer, because everything you just said is what happens in the campaign of Star Wars Battlefront 2, where Luke is played by Matthew Mercer.
And Star Wars Battlefront
I like
2
Matthew
actually
Mercer.
has, I dare say, a good plot. Shame everything.
All in good time.
Jova, not for nothing, Jova, but sounding angry at complimenting something isn't very
It's because
healthy.
it's Battlefront 2, Dwibs. I don't support that game and its microtransaction-ridden rear end, and I don't support EA's supposed new fix that Jim Sterling himself had a lot to say about. Screw EA.
Anyway,
That'd be like me being angry that
Dwibs. I'm angry that I actually am speaking positively of a game as despicable as Battlefront 2.
I don't get that. Sorry.
Dwibs, the microtransactions went too far. That's all.
I
Let's
don't get that specific thing is all, but anyway.
whatever. Let's just move on with this. Which I'll admit, I'm not seeing the epic badness of this movie.
Not just, well, Jova, here's the thing. We're like 20 minutes in. Have you noticed something clearly missing that was in the game? Like, actual, spaceship battles.
Not just that.
Hold on, one at a time.
Yeah.
Let's see it finish.
The only action sequence we got was at the very beginning with Heavy Suchet firing at not even an enemy, just a bulletproof glass. And it was the end, the characters flying through a black hole, and that was it. Hello there.
Who invited the fusion of Sandra Bullock and Shelley Duvall?
That's Saffron
That's
Burrows.
Saffron Burrows, who later in the year would be in Deep Blue Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, doesn't she play the main protagonist in that movie?
Yeah.
And then I recall her career tanked after that.
Well,
Yeah.
well, which is funny because out of the three main actors, the one that had the best career was Freddie Prinze Jr.
Wait, when you say
Actually,
three main actors, who are you
She
talking
also
about?
played Victoria and in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
More Matthew Lillard was because
Yeah.
where do you
Well,
even
Freddie Prinze Jr. is
nowadays?
far behind.
Yeah.
What is Freddie Prinze Jr. even doing today nowadays?
He's mostly voice acting nowadays.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
like
check,
Lillard.
just
Oh,
for
like
curiosity.
Lillard. Oh, so
Oh,
both became voice actors for all intents and
The
purposes.
difference being that Lillard is a much more prominent voice actor.
His last major movie was Delgo in 2008 and Jack and Jill versus the World.
So, love interest?
Well, it's pretty
so-
obvious.
Not just that, but that's another thing, Jova. We're over 20 minutes into this movie, and so far we have learned little to nothing about our supposed protagonist.
My code with this is that if there's
Other than he's a pilgrim.
My code with this is that if there's good build up to it, I can forgive it. I'm guessing that's not the
another thing,
case.
Jova. Have you if you pretty not notice at this point, the pacing in this movie is so slow.
And it's not even that long a movie. It's only 100 minutes.
Ooh, yeah, that could pose a problem. But okay, so what's that woman's character in the games?
Apparently
Commander
she was a
Janet
commander.
Angel Devereaux.
So let me
And they
guess.
apparently spelled her name wrong in this movie too.
What a surprise!
So is this like
and
the
also,
last?
David Warner's character earlier, they spelled his character's name wrong.
So this is like the last Airbender of its time.
I mean, well, actually, no, Joe, this is worse. The guy directing this actually created the series. He should know this shit.
Well, the creators of the actual series were involved, albeit more so in a way that Hanna-Barbera was involved with the creation of the Tom and Jerry movie.
Which reminds me, in case you wondered, this franchise even got a short animated series of 13 episodes.
Which had the actual cast in it, I believe.
I don't
Let
think
me
so.
check.
It even had a crossover with Mortal Kombat Defenders over... Wait. Don't remember that.
Here we are, let's see. The Wing Commander Academy, blah, 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 blah. The cast featured Mark Hamill, Tom Wilson, and Malcolm McDowell reprising their Wing Commander game roles.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we could get them for a 13-episode cartoon, but not for an official movie.
And this show was released by the USA Network.
Towlin.
Yeah,
was
that's the
Tolwyn.
That's the character who was Malcolm McDowell in the.
I thought it was.
in
I
the
thought it was
games.
Tolwyn, not Towlin.
Towel. Yeah,
ETH or-
he's literally a towel, dudes.
in this movie. I mean, Jova, say what you like about the Assassin's Creed movie, but at least they didn't spell Ezio's name wrong.
Well,
Maybe
Ezio
because
wasn't in that
Ezio wasn't
movie.
in the movie.
And besides, Wibs, they didn't really seem to care much about the other franchise, so that problem never really arose. And I'm sorry, Dwibs, but Assassin's Creed the movie made way far bigger errors. Also, to be fair, Assassin's Creed actually had a plot that the movie was supposed to try and stick with. This, from what I can get, the games weren't really that plot-driven either.
Also, another thing, we haven't seen in close-up any single Kilrati ever since the movie started. We only have seen some of them banging at the door.
He's scraping at the door! Scraping at the door!
Ow.
Also, space chess, because we need to be quirky. Dude.
Seriously, I'm half expecting Freddie Prinze Jr. to go, "Hey man, what's up? Wanna go to the bar?"
Well, I'll give this movie
Roll
credit.
Roll credit.
Do something!
Burn.
I know, right?
Was that supposed to be funny?
Mr. Prince Jr. action.
Also, his face there, dude. Again, what is up with this? What is up with this prejudice angle?
Wait.
There's actually another thing.
Wait, hold on. Wait, there's a prejudice thing going on?
Yeah, Pedro mentioned for the...
Oh, I know he mentioned it, but I'm not quite exactly getting what it is.
We already explained it.
No, it's another thing.
Yeah, go on, Dibs.
These people have a weird way of honoring the dead. Basically, whenever one of their parts get killed, they just go. They all just pretend he never existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an unpersonification.
You see, Jova, when someone dies, just forget that they existed. Do not honor their memory, because that's bullshit.
That's a stupid prejudice.
It's also really
That's
weird way.
Also, how is that even a prejudice?
No, that's
It's
not the
really-
prejudice.
Not
That's
prejudice.
another
It's
thing.
just being dicks.
Yeah, it's just a weird way of spirituality.
Anyway, let me just say this. Basically, Jova, the prejudice that we already explained was that for some reason everybody that's normal has prejudice against pilgrims. Why? I don't know. They just do.
Oh, I already knew about that, but I didn't know that they were the Pilgrims.
No, Freddie Prinze Jr. is a pilgrim.
What constitutes being a pilgrim?
Basically,
Oh, let me guess. People who moved off of Earth and don't live
I've
there
already
anymore.
explained. They're people who can commandeer spaceships without computers.
I thought those were wing commanders.
Let's not.
No, being a wing commander just qualifies you to pilot one of the mini ships.
Jesus Christ, this world is stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Also-
This is what I was afraid of.
I mean, okay. To be fair, is this also like this in the games too?
It's
No.
explained better, and it's more easy to understand.
I'll take your word for it, Tio.
Not just that, Jova. Think of it like this. This movie is trying to compress in an abridged way the story of a couple of games instead of...
They're taking several games and trying to adapt them into
very
one?
loosely also, by the way, considering all the other elements that they added.
Okay, adaptations are one thing, but I don't ever think I've seen a film adaptation work where they've tried to merge several elements from like 5 or so different installments and have it work.
You're in for a treat, Jova. The first Asterix movie kinda does like that.
Like, I mean, seriously, at least Series of Unfortunate Events had it only be the first 3, so in a way it worked, but this probably isn't.
So I'm grateful for the CGI animated movie, which did the smart thing, just took a fucking book and just adapted it. There. See? How hard was that, live action movies? Yeah.
The weird thing is that we don't have that many live action movies, sadly. I mean, when they are good, they're good, thank goodness. Who's this black guy?
Something apparently not important, Jova.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, here's another thing. You notice something missing? The plot?
Well, apparently they're apparently they're mentioning their goal.
Well, that's the thing, Jova. This is a movie where people talk constantly, and yet they say practically nothing.
Yeah. Basically, Jova, there's a popular comedic skit in my country. I even showed it to tell you the other day, where where we just have a guy literally spout out a lot of diatribe, but whenever he's about to get to the point where he actually, specifies his points, he just dances around them and just keeps saying pointless circular reasoning, which is, of course, and then he literally ends the skit by saying, "I hate it when guys just talk, and I don't see them doing anything."
Like, Jova, it's an easy thing. Like, the synopsis is extremely easy. The Kirati want the source energy of the humans. The humans need to stop them having. That literally is it.
So it's essentially just Independence Day, but done more so in space than on land. So, yeah.
I would say, yeah, it's even, well, no, okay, it's not like that, but let me say, Starship Troopers had a similar premise, but a better execution.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of live-action adaptations that do their jobs better than the likes of this, or even worse, Assassin's Creed.
Okay, writers, writing 101. If you want to go for a prejudice angle, you have to actually have the prejudice have some kind of inner logic to it. You can't just have them be prejudiced for no reason.
Are they even really going...
Would it interest you guys to know that the writer of this film hasn't done anything since?
Do they ever...
Gee, I wonder why.
So, here's my question. Why be prejudiced against people just because they have the ability to pilot these things?
I don't know, Jova.
Like, seriously, that's a prejudice that makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, these are people who are protecting your safety back on
They're
Earth.
afraid they'll sabotage and destroy them.
Well, Jova, maybe they're just like me, and they agree that that's the most useless gift ever.
Well, I don't think it's really a gift. It sounds like something that you actually have to study and learn, unless you're just naturally gifted.
Yeah, but that's, like I said, even if you do study and learn it, what's the point of it?
Like, seriously. I mean, seriously. This is like if I treated the mailman like he's a different species just because he delivers the mail and I don't. Like...
It's stupid. Like, and it's the and one of the big foundations of the movie's plot.
What's not Harrison Ford doing here?
That's David Warner.
Yeah, the character that was Michael McDowell in the game.
Malcolm, actually. But...
Malcolm, sorry.
So weird though. I mean, it'd be like if they made the Command and Conquer movie but didn't cast any of the live action actors in the movie.
Yeah, it's like if they had some generic Jamoa instead of Tim Curry.
Oh, and we're going to learn something about...
So finally we have some Wing Commanders piloting their vehicle.
And we're also going to learn something about the Maverick.
Like
about
30
Maverick
minutes in.
We're going to learn something about Maverick in this scene. He's an extremely dangerous pilot who constantly endangers the aircraft he flies and the others around him.
Is Maverick his actual name?
I wonder if that's gonna be is gonna get brought up into play in this scene.
Is Maverick his actual name?
I can't remember his proper name to be sure.
Basically, the Wing Commanders actually have nicknames given in by each other.
Wow.
Like the protagonist is called Maverick. The Saffron Boros character is called Angel.
Wow.
Look, I'm showing off my awesome flying skills in a time of war.
Oh, that's CGI.
So you named a guy who's, rambunctious and, prone to do Maverick stuff. Maverick. Brilliant.
Oh, here we go. Actually, it's not. Basically, Jova, we're about to see Matthew Lillard, quote unquote, acting.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's a later.
Oh, is it not yet?
Also, Jova, you're confusing. Maverick is the nickname given to Freddie Prinze Jr. character. The one we have to Madeleine Millard is called Maniac.
Wait. Matthew Lillard was the one driving?
Yeah, he's this guy.
Yeah. Matthew Lillard, not just that, Jova. Like I said, in the game, Matthew Lillard's role is played by fucking Biff from Back to the Future. Kind of a step down, right?
Yeah, honestly, Biff never struck me as... I mean, don't get me wrong. Biff, the guy who plays Biff is a great actor here and there, but Back to the Future was kind of really his main big thing, and well, after that he didn't really do much.
But Jova, it was in Crash The Wrath of Cortex.
And I applaud. Oh my God, he and Mark Hamill were also in that game together. But honestly, when it comes to that, I mean, okay, maybe I need to see his performance in the games, but it's
he is great in those games.
I don't find it to be as much a step down as say from Mark Hamill.
Did anyone chew out Willard's character for being an absolute arsehole and endangering vital war equipment?
Apparently not, Wibbs.
Apparently he got in trouble with what's-her-face.
Okay, this movie can get 100% better if they get drunk and then start kissing.
Sure, why not?
Which is funny you mentioned that, Tio. Apparently Saffron Burrows is, Yeah, she's a lesbian.
And who's this woman?
I have no idea. She's the, She's the other woman. I don't know. Well, hey, they're getting drunk part down to you.
Anyway, she's Ginny Holder playing Lieutenant Rosie, Sister Sassy Forbes.
We got old-fashioned music. We're classic.
Yeah. There you go, guys. This means the scene is deep.
He's the bad guy, isn't he? Part Pilgrim? How could you be part Pilgrim?
He's the son of a human and a pilgrim.
The pilgrims are humans. They just know how to fly something.
Don't you see, Jova? They're no humans.
Okay.
I assure you, Jova, this whole pilgrim shit has nothing to do with the games. I have no idea where the hell they even got this from. I guess Chris Roberts' ass. Which is interesting. I mean, Chris Roberts wrote the games. Why didn't he just write the... by the way.
Well, the fact remains that he still approved this. The responsible was the guy that Luis mentioned, Kevin Droney.
Wait, what? Wait, Pilgrim Wars? What the heck?
No idea what he's talking about.
He's talking about what's supposed to be, I guess, lore building. The problem is that, again, it has nothing to do with the games. It's rushed. It's barely gonna even have any kind of significance. So...
And this film never got a sequel.
So, yeah.
This is what.
Wait. I get it now. So pilgrims are people who have the superpower to operate ships without.
Yeah, it's like psychic mutant in some.
Okay. Now this makes more sense. It's basically X-Men just watered down. Okay.
Yeah, but with X-Men it made sense because they were mutants. In here, they're just.
Well, they essentially are.
They look just like humans. The only difference is that they can pilot airships without computers.
To be fair, Pedro, that was kind of the case with some of the mutants in X-Men, where some did look like humans but had these weird abilities.
Regardless, this angle for the movie is completely out of nowhere and unnecessary.
It doesn't really go anywhere.
It's out of nowhere, and the problem is also that they don't really focus on it much. I mean,
there you go, Jova. Those are supposed to be the Wing Commander uniforms.
Okay, so, nice red. So anyway,
They look like firemen.
So my question is this. These pilgrims, are they able to pilot their ships, outside of the ships themselves, like mentally?
No.
No.
Then
the thing is,
what?
Hold on. If I recall correctly, it's all a complicated thing around them being able to perceive the magnetic energy of black holes or some shit.
Okay, so my question, if people with this special power can't even operate the ships outside, in fact, from what you said, it sounds like it's even more complicated for people with the power. What supposed advantage do they have?
Hang on.
That was the million-dollar question, Jova, and I don't have an answer for it. Go ahead.
Wasn't that black guy in the Phantom Menace?
Oh,
I don't know.
You mean the guy that was Chuck Norris' sidekick in Walker, Texas Ranger?
Yeah, the black guy just only was in Phantom. I think it was in Phantom Menace.
What, did he play Jar Jar Binks?
Artificial
No,
intelligence.
he played one of Padme's bodyguards.
Bodyguards, yeah.
Oh, such a memorable role. Whatever.
Yeah, I can remember it.
True.
Oh.
Alright. Hey, this looks like
I'm
the
such
scene
an
from...
anomaly, aren't I, Pedro?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I guess if I rewatch it, I'd probably remember. It's just been years since I saw that movie.
Uh-oh, guys, we're about to go into hyperspace.
No,
Why
you're
am I
thinking-
not
you-
hyped
you're,
at
thinking-
all?
you're thinking of a better movie, Dibs.
Can you feel the tension,
5,
guys?
4, 3.
Yeah, we're
2.
literally almost 40 minutes into this, and
Freeze frame!
Wow,
Oh, great.
really? This? We're actually... Oh my god, so this is literally like that scene in Lost in Space. So you're
Yep.
telling me
Yeah,
that
that's true.
Lost in Space also predicted the Wing Commander movie?
Mm-hmm. Not just
It's
that.
not a roller coaster,
Wait. She's bleeding. Why is she bleeding? All she did was bump into him.
Yeah, she hurt herself by bumping her head on the ceiling, I think.
Would it really cause?
Yes. If she banged her head hard enough where she ended up scraping it
Depends on
against
many
it.
It
things.
didn't look like it didn't look like she banged it that hard.
Some people may have more fragile skin or some shit, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the director wasn't thinking of that for this scene. He's like, oh, she just bumps her head and she starts bleeding.
It's just
So,
that-
so these guys, they're still heading to Earth, right?
No, they're heading to to some sort of place where they have to fight the Kilrathi. who
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I
Then
don't
what was
see
a
that.
that?
physical appearance in this movie.
Then what was
yeah.
up with
14 minutes in, we haven't seen a Kilrathi yet.
Hold on. So what was the point of showing that digital screen that said 23.023 hours to Earth? Was that how soon the invasion is getting there? Either way, shouldn't they be heading to Earth to correlate with that? Oh, hi, Jupiter. I think.
I think that was a nebula.
Yeah.
Is that
That's Mark Hamill.
that's the design you're gonna go with for your helmet, really?
Also, yeah, you wasted Mark Hamill for like a 10 seconds line.
I'm guessing that's not what the helmets look like in the games.
So you bothered to get Mark Hamill.
I'm guessing that's not what the helmets look
Hey,
like in the
guys.
games.
Hold on, Jova, I'm gonna give you an answer in a second because I want to give an image.
Go on, Pedro.
Hey guys, we got Mark Hamill in here. Shall we actually get him to reprise his main role from the series? Nah, let's just have him do this little voiceover cameo. Brilliant.
Amazing.
Really, EA? You were that cheap?
Apparently, yeah.
Dang it.
It's hard to tell, really. I mean, I mostly just blame Chris Roberts, since he created the series, and from what I can tell, I don't remember there being any executive meddling for this film, as it was so cheap to make.
Okay, look, Dwibs. Executive meddling means when a company actively goes out of its way to mess with things. That doesn't.
No, but I've never heard any mention of that. I haven't heard any mention of that. You think with this film being nearly 20 years old, someone would have said, "Oh, by the way, they did this or they did that."
Dwibs. Executive meddling means that they actively did something. Executive meddling is not the only bad thing a company who very well could help a product out can do. What I'm saying is that EA cheaped out. That doesn't mean that they did executive meddling. It means that they kind of left this thing out to die. Which,
Basically.
considering
Well,
EA's patterns, would not
Fox
surprise me.
Fox didn't help, as this film only got a limited theatrical release. That's why it didn't really do well at the box office.
Let me put it like this. I'm not going to say that Chris Roberts is free of blame. What I am going to say, though, is that EA definitely played a part, and EA are the ones who are infamous for kind of killing off IPs in a way that rivals that of Activision.
I know what you mean, but I just don't remember hearing any examples of that in this case.
Well, like I said, Dwibs, the fact that
I know it's easy to make that assumption, but I've never heard any evidence.
Dwibs.
So for now, I'm just going to go off what I'm seeing here.
There's no assumption about it, Dwibs. They didn't give the money that this movie needed.
Do you have any evidence?
The budget itself?
Well, yeah, so anyone could have given them that.
Yeah, your point being, again, look, Dwibs, at the end of the day, EA, Fox, they all didn't provide the budget this thing needed. No way around that. Let's just move on.
The funny thing is, though, Joe, the only reason people, or the few people that bothered to go to the cinema to see this, was to see a trailer for The Phantom Menace.
That's a thing, really. Again,
How sad is it that the best part of going to see this movie in the theater was to watch the trailer for Phantom Menace?
It's like with Fan Stick, where the best thing about that movie was to go and see the trailer for Deadpool.
Allow me, since you guys are
all were Fox related.
Yeah, allow me, since you two are a bit too young to remember that time. Basically...
Oh, wait, hold on. I was 4 at the time. I remember 1999 just fine, thank you very much.
For the context, Jova, let Pedro continue.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
I don't question your memory, Jova. I question the fact of, wisdom.
Okay. Age has nothing to do with it, but I wasn't interested in it, so there, go off on that context.
Sure. Well, here's the thing, Joe. But when I was 4, I probably didn't even know my head from my toes. So
hey, well, I did.
Well, okay.
Good for you.
Good for you then.
Good for you. You're a special snowflake.
Hey, no. Plenty of people I know had that much knowledge of the age of 4.
We're just derating. Go ahead, Pedro.
But back in the 90s, the first ever trailer that was released, the one that came in the theaters before this movie, for Phantom Menace, was a trailer that started by showing footage from the original trilogy. We heard John Williams' iconic Force theme, all that good stuff. And then suddenly space battles, and they were completely shown off context, making the movie look like it's going to be an awesome space opera, kind of like the original trilogy. Even though most of the movie took place in Senate scenes with a lot of boring political dialogue, but again,
that was only like the middle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I recall there being quite a lot of space battles here and there with Phantom Menace.
Two major jobs. One at the beginning where they're fleeing, and the end where Anakin does the special snowflake. Now this is pod racing line.
Most of the movie
honestly, I'm fine with that. I mean, well, to be fair,
to
be fair to you, even with the original trilogy, we didn't have that many space battles, especially in likes of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Really only had the one at the end.
Well, that was more so because of budget limitations.
Well, all the same, though, honestly. Phantom Menace, I think, did it just fine with the space battles.
Anyway, guys,
not too much.
Back to...
Oh, poor Freddie Prinze Jr. is sad.
Why is he sad? We kind of talked over it.
Because he's a pilgrim and people don't like pilgrims.
So...
Also, no, Joe, I haven't found any trace of that helmet, so if I recall correctly, it's not part of a uniform.
So another unnecessary addition. Although I will say I've seen far worse.
Like, I can imagine a power pilot to actually have an helmet, so I can imagine the thought process. It's just that scouter.
That particular helmet looks silly.
Although I'll take silly at this point because this movie is very visually...
Emotion gets in the way. That was probably the driving force behind this movie.
I'm sorry, Saffron. This game series had FMVs, so not much polygons to work with.
So he never existed.
This person she's talking about is going to end up being alive as a twist, isn't he?
No.
Sorry, Jova, but
hang on. How come if they pretend someone never existed, why is she talking about him?
Wait,
that too, but
well, maybe not everyone's that bad, I guess.
Sorry, Jova, but
he's
thing with all their bullshit moral codes. They at least be consistent about it.
Oh, come now, Dweebs. This can't be Britain. We're oh, well, hello.
This came out of nowhere.
Well, apparently Shaggy got the chocolate, I guess.
Well, whatever. These two
I do not want to think about Shaggy shagging.
Hey. Come on. Let him have his time to shine with Velma. They are actually a thing.
Don't you know, Jova? For some reason, the internet thinks that Velma is lesbian. I don't know why.
Oh, that's probably because the ending of Mystery Incorporated the show.
Whatever, not touching that.
Whatever, these two are cute, fine, whatever. It's not like they have much character to be ruined by this.
I forgot if he's the character of
Marshall.
No, I forgot the character. No, the character that Matthew Millard played in Hackers actually got a girlfriend there, but don't think so. Action. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Action.
Like I was saying, Joe, but sorry. Turns out that Dr. Martin Luther King never existed. He died, therefore he never existed.
Cue the laugh track. Wing Commander was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Jesus Christ, this is almost as bad as when Britain tries to forget some actor just because he did something bad and act like it never happened and he never existed.
Well, that's different. That's different, Joe. But here it's stupid just because they died, and they died fighting a war. You think they'd honor them more? In our case,
just because you die in the battlefield, it doesn't mean you made such a dishonorable thing.
And
in our case, we're trying to forget about criminals.
Yes, Pedro?
And Jova, it's like Konami trying to make sure that nobody remembers that PT existed.
So yeah, this guy won't fly with him because he's a pilgrim.
Wait,
she's flying instead.
So finally, like halfway through the movie, we actually get some action with the Wing Commanders.
Because this is totally what I want to see in my Wing Commander movie. Bullshit prejudice, Matthew Lillard shagging, and unfinished Matrix effects, Lost in Space style.
To be fair, Matthew Lillard shagging was the best executed out of those
also,
three.
Devereaux, that's not Teo, if you don't mind.
I already mentioned.
They spelled her name wrong.
That's not her name.
What's her name?
Her name is misspelled, basically. That's all you need to know.
Hi, Mark Hamill.
You created these characters, Chris. How did you not know his name? It's like if Fino made a Layton game that where the A is replaced with an E. Like I don't.
Or if he called Luke as in look.
Wait, no, guys, I see it now. Professor Sean Layden. Oops.
Daytona, USA.
And it would be a Nintendo exclusive.
So?
Red October standing by.
Not all win.
You may fire when ready. Beep boop.
I could be watching the pod racing in Phantom Menace, but here I am here.
Also, once again, like 50 minutes in, not a single kill Rafi.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you want to focus on establishing the characters, but come on, guys.
What do you mean establishing the characters? Has any character actually been established for newcomers as of yet?
Well, let's see. Matthew Lillard's character has definitely been established.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard got laid, I guess.
Brilliant.
You know what?
Also,
you know what?
That's Jupiter or Saturn.
You know what? You know what? You know what? Poor Lillard needed a break, so I'm just gonna give him a thumbs up for that.
Oh, finally, some actual space battle.
Yeah, what the hell was that in this movie?
And we're only like 50 minutes away from the ending.
Like, again, halfway through the movie. Also, Joe, again, for context, so since you actually saw, we commented on it. Imagine if in the Starship Troopers movie, we spend like 2/3 of it just in the military academy, having the characters just talk to each other before we actually see any bug attacks.
Also,
that's how this feels.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
In terms of theatrical films, Chris Roberts really isn't cut out for this.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a movie you want to see on the big screen, like at all.
So, who's
Mr. Chouchet action?
This would look fun in an FMV game. The problem is that
so
you expect
okay,
better.
so between Digital Origin, Fox, and EA, whose dumb idea was it to just let Chris Roberts do a movie which he hadn't done before with, no plan to go through? Like, seriously, look. Even if a guy has never done a movie before, if he has a well enough plan, I can actually buy it. Like, seriously, I'd actually buy it if Hideo Kojima, despite doing, for the most part, games, actually tried to do a movie.
Well,
because
he went
I'm
to
sure
film school. He went to film school and everything. He actually knows that.
Yeah.
I take it we don't know if Chris Roberts went to film school.
I don't know.
My point is that, seriously, Chris Roberts is definitely one of the main men to blame, but I really have to wonder who was dumb enough to, throw this amount of money, like, not enough, or even want to consider throwing this much without having this much of a plan, seeing as how even at this point in time, video game live-action adaptations hadn't been doing so hot. So, again, who signed off on this? Like, who thought that this was worth approval?
Also, that's interesting, Jova, because there's no mention of the development of the movie itself.
Oh, snap.
So I don't know exactly how it happened.
Speaking of snap,
Was that an enemy cruiser we blew up?
now one of the goodies.
Oops.
Oh, how am I supposed to know that?
Because they look
Main
all
humans.
generic gray.
Play the games, I guess. I don't.
Oh,
It's another thing. Like they don't establish the characters, so newcomers are going to be completely lost.
I saw this and I was lost, and also I thought
That's
this
also
was a
the
really
problem.
generic space movie.
By distancing yourself so much from the source material, you're not introducing anyone to it, pretty much.
I mean, okay, I guess I'll give him credit. I at least get the main characters, but even still, those main characters haven't done much. And okay, so what exactly are they merging from all installments of the games into this one plot? I have to wonder.
I think the plot of the first 3 games, 3 or 4.
Basically, yeah.
How so, though? I mean, barely much has happened. Like, has it been most of the dialogue sequences that they've taken from each
Let's say that
game?
again, Jova. That's the thing.
So yeah, Pedro, remember what you said earlier about why didn't they just take the scripts from Wing Commanders 2 and 3 and put them in here? Well, technically they did.
Also, Jova, as I mentioned, while having these a bit higher production value and everything, the Wing Commander games did not have too much of a story. They had, it just wasn't super developed.
So why bother making a
It was
theatrical...
more character-driven rather than plot-driven.
So my question, why bother making a theatrical film if you're not going to put the time, money, and effort into helping it actually flourish, especially if it's based off of a video game series that really wasn't ever the talk of town? I mean, and I mean no disrespect to the video game series, but I'm gonna be quite honest. I ain't never heard of it, and you know something's wrong when I have not heard of a series that involves the likes of Mark Hamill and Malcolm McDowell.
Well, Joe, that's two things. One, it was before your time. Let's not forget that. Second,
well, I mean, okay.
Yeah, no,
it carried over into the
thing.
90s, though, which I was well versed in that.
When
but
it comes to retro gaming.
Yeah, but that's the problem, Jova. See, the thing is, it was part of the FMV genre, and the problem with the FMV genre is that it's a genre that's quickly being forgotten by people because one, those games are really hard to get running in modern computers.
David Suchet is dead.
And I don't really care.
And video game publishers didn't really bother to actually re-release the games for the most part.
Then why is Night Trap coming back?
Well, Jova, I'm just as confused about that as you. I don't know why.
Look, see, here's the thing, Pedro. Now that Night Trap's back, people ain't gonna be forgetting FMVs anytime soon.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the re-release is like a big...
Pedro. Internet attention versus sales.
I guess. Sure.
What goes onto the internet stays on the internet.
Well, yeah, I guess if Nat can get a sequel based on donkey memes, I guess anything's possible.
Exactly. Like, seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if enough memes about Knack 2... Okay, think about this, Pedro. Bubsy came back after decades of being dead because of the internet.
Chinese people.
I mean, let me put it like this. If Bubsy can come back, anything can come back.
And now you're making me think of a Wing Commander return with Chinese people being the owners.
Would you be surprised? I mean, Chinese people are apparently the people making Red Ash, which was supposed to come out in July of 2017 last year. But we haven't even gotten the game, even though the anime has come out.
If it does come out, most likely it will be Japanese only, since...
No. It's apparently supposed to come to both countries.
Well, didn't you tell me that now it would be...
Hey, guys. I think they're gonna try doing one of their crazy landings again.
Basically, Pedro, remember,
there was... Let's see if something weird and quirky happens.
Yay.
Are we in Saturn?
Also, we just had an action sequence with Kirati, and we haven't seen a single Kirati piloting these things. I understand that makeup cost, but it's just for still like 2 seconds of showing him roaring while piloting this thing. Is that really hard?
Did we ever see the Kirati in the games, by the way?
Yes.
The Kirati are basically the game's most recurring antagonists, Jova. And yet they're almost absent from this movie. Imagine.
I know. It's like if we had a Mario Brothers movie that didn't have Goombas in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is even worse than the Super Mario Brothers movie. Congrats, game. Movie.
I don't know. This movie, for as bad as it is, doesn't piss me off as much as the Mario Brothers movie does.
Well, again, though, that's just a matter of how much it affects you. I mean, when you get down to it, the Super Mario Brothers movie still stayed more true to the formula than this movie apparently is, from what you guys were saying.
So, yeah, because Matthew Lillard didn't bother firing till like the very last second, the Karafi ship crashed into us, and now she's in danger.
And that woman, the woman... Okay, Dwebs, could you tell me which actress is this?
I don't. I'll look it up.
I told you.
I'm
gonna say this. Genie Holder.
Yeah, Tia mentioned that earlier.
Weird. She looks like a younger Wanda Sykes.
So now she's got to try and make an emergency landing.
On Saturn or the moon of Saturn. Oh wait, no, she's somehow going up.
And she can't. And she tried to eject, but she can't because the
Why
ejection
would
systems
you
are conveniently broken.
Not like ejecting into space would do her much good.
Probably have like a bubble or something, I don't know.
So what, is she like the equivalent of the best friend who dies in these kinds of movies?
Well, let's see, Jova. Not the time, guys. Well, fuck. My god, the CGI is so dated.
Please tell me they did not just kill off one of the few and possibly only woman of color in this movie just for the sake of establishing...
Jova.
Character motive.
Now you're going to see for yourself why a lot of kids who grew up in the 90s took a lot of time to grow to like Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Glillard, you may want to wait until your Scooby-Doo days and when you learn how to scream properly. Also, did they seriously kill her off just to establish Lillard's character?
I do not have the heart to tell you, Jova.
Guys, what's her character's name again?
Big Sis, like Sister Sass.
So, women
Rosie's dead, guys. Rosie's dead.
So, Jova, think about this. I know that technically counts as David Suchet, but amongst the Wing Commanders, the first person who dies is the Black One.
So let's see. In the same year that this movie came out, we had Jar Jar Binks. Real classy, Fox. Real classy.
I can't.
Like, don't get me wrong. Look, I don't hate Phantom Menace, but even I am not going to excuse that racist.
I'm not even sure what Jar Jar Binks is racist towards against.
He's voiced by a black guy.
Oh, I guess the Italian dub just went all over the place, so yeah.
Okay, let me put it like this, too. Basically, George Lucas thought he would get around the black face stereotype and stuff like that by... Oh, it's an alien, it's okay. It's an alien, therefore it's okay.
Little did he knew that he made things worse doing that. But it's a topic for another time.
Oh no, wait.
It's kind of similar to...
Are you seriously? They're dumping the ship with her dead body into the trash chute?
Remember Jova. She died, therefore she never existed.
Okay, okay.
I guess this is a little variation.
Okay.
If she doesn't breathe, she's a thought.
Okay, look. I know that they say that, they treat people like this in general, but, the only person we see this happening to is a black woman. Now, normally, I wouldn't call into semantics this, but, the fact that she was the first one to go just to establish the sake for, a man to die. Okay. And again, the fact that Fox also did the Jar Jar Binks thing ain't helping their case.
Because he disobeyed a direct order, he's going to be shot.
What kind of dystopian...
Wait, when did you took over for directing this movie?
Yeah.
I
I get the feeling that this is the point where Matthew Lillard tried to leave the set, but then Saffron was like, nope, I'm taking you down with me.
You're gonna have to suffer the movie with me.
It's okay.
Hey, I have to suffer through Deep Blue Sea.
It's okay, Matt. You'll actually get to have a career. But what direct order did he, not follow?
He did not immediately abandon her because she died.
Okay, when was it established that we're now in some dictatorship thing where,
He disobeyed a direct order, so...
But Jova,
during that he caused automatic execution.
This is the future. Mankind has to be dystopic in some kind of way.
See, this movie's so fucking stupid.
Was it like this in the games? I'm guessing not.
No. None of the shit was in the games, which I guess the writer pulled it out of his ass, and Chris Roberts was like, that's good.
Okay. Here's my theory. I get the feeling that Chris Roberts was not confident in making this movie. Because seriously, the way this movie reads off, it's like they thought, yes, we have to include all this deep, dark, depressing stuff to make this game plot mean more to film goers. Like, it doesn't excuse it, but dear lord, that's what this feels like. I mean, at least the Super Mario Brothers movie felt like it was trying to actually be a video game movie. This one just feels like it's a shame to be an adaptation of a game, and thinks, no, we have to change ourselves.
It feels more like an actual parody more than anything.
And yet this still is not as bad as World of Warcraft or Assassin's Creed the movie. It's...
Well, Warcraft put me asleep nearly.
Warcraft was such an easy thing to make, and they somehow screwed it up.
Well,
also, once again, 1 hour, it's like 65 minutes in, and we haven't seen the kill.
So,
Oh, and now we're playing Battleship?
So, guys, wasn't Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character supposed to be the main character? Why has he done the least out of these characters?
I don't know, Jova. I honestly don't know.
Jova, they don't want us to talk about it.
Oh, hang on, there's this
They
bit
missed us?
I love this one.
Shush, you're in space!
Hold on.
You wouldn't be able to hear them.
In a vacuum. Okay, there's suspension of there's suspension of disbelief, and then there's just insulting my fucking intelligence.
Also,
you don't need to be a scientist to know that sound doesn't carry in space.
Also,
the entire tagline of the Alien franchise is that in space no one can hear you scream.
Also, it's kind of pathetic that they were actually having a triumphant moment over the aliens missing them. Like, yeah, I know we sucked, and, we kind of failed, but at least they missed us.
Well, apparently they made a decoy.
Jump scare.
Okay.
Was that supposed to be a kamikaze attack or something?
I don't know.
The characters don't seem to be convinced.
Oh boy, more shaky cam.
Methodical, that's kind of common sense.
I don't know.
I love how that woman's like, so,
when can I get my paycheck?
It's like, oh my god, I don't know what's worse, this
oh
or
my
Deep
god,
Blue Sea.
her expression didn't even change when they got hit. Like, okay.
I know, right?
Was that just an effects fail, or is Saffron just that bad an actress?
Probably.
Well, she hasn't really done much, really.
Maybe both.
What are you guys doing?
I mean, hell, her character in Deep Blue Sea was so annoying, they reshot the ending.
Oh, yes. That's actually infamous. Like, see, her character, who was the reason for everything bad happening in that movie, wasn't originally supposed to survive, but during the test screening, audience were so angry at that they were basically saying, die, you bitch, die. So, yeah. On the plus side, though, they had one of the characters people actually did like, the Black Cook. He got to survive, as opposed to how he was going to die. So hooray for test screening!
They couldn't even actually get Saffron Burrows back for that bit. They used a body double.
No.
Yeah, please, as if he's going to
Yeah,
die.
yeah. Lillard's acting in this movie because he's basically shouting.
Screaming.
I get the feeling Lillard was just miscast for this.
Yeah,
everyone, almost everyone was
Jova, yeah,
miscast.
fake.
Well, not only that, but here's a problem with the script.
You might as well call this miscasting the movie.
See, here's a problem I think is an honest issue. The way that the script is paced, for the most part, these people are supposed to act mundane. So of course they're going to have a hard time pulling off the supposed action scenes because, well, there's been so little preparation for them. And considering
those
how
clear
little...
metal blocks felt like plastic, and that works, apparently.
And again, I mean, well, considering, you know, how little budget this movie had, they probably didn't have much a chance for retakes here and there. So, of course, you know, considering how most of the time was spent with these mundane scenes, the actors probably had a tough time adapting to the action scenes.
Oh no, Matt Billard is bleeding.
Why would you kill him after establishing that he has a reason to fight after his love was killed?
No idea.
I don't.
Are they seriously killing him off?
The way Freddy shouts medic.
Are you serious? Are they seriously killing him off? We're seriously doing that cliche of the best friend dies after we kind of just did that with the girlfriend dies.
Remember, I didn't exist. I never existed. You hear me? I never existed.
And he dies off screen. Really?
I don't know.
I think he was actually carried by the medic.
Oh.
Okay then.
Well, okay then.
It wouldn't be funny. Dwebs will of course start ranting off-screen death, and I'm like, it's okay, Dwebs never existed, so it's okay.
Don't you see, Dwebs? It's perfect. You see, David Warner died off screen, but it never happened because he doesn't exist. And oh my god, I just realized that this is Ace Attorney's logic with a bullet hole never existing. God dang it!
Matt Villard died on the way back to his planet.
That's exactly right, Jova. According to this movie's logic, Ace Attorney never existed.
Like, oh my god, they're literally using Manfred von Karma's logic, but he was the bad guy who was obviously trying to cover the truth. So,
Jova, I got some bad news.
What?
That pilot, the friend of yours who went on to fight in the Great Space War.
Yes.
He was killed by the Kilrathi.
What Kilrathi? The circumstances don't exist. In fact, the stranger speaking of doesn't exist.
Actually, no, Jova has an even better point with that. What Kilrathi? Exactly. So far, I have yet to see a single fucking Kilrathi in this stupid movie.
Like 70 minutes. We're literally 2/3 into the movie. We haven't seen a single one. Never even like a 2-second clip.
You know,
I mean, are they meant to be ghosts? Like you fear what you don't see or something?
No,
they're like the Klingons, you know.
You know, Super Mario Brothers movie, that had an excuse that, you know, they were trying to do a more fantastical setting here and there. So, you know, they had more stuff to contend with. This movie, from what I've heard of the games, is so simple. And I'm sorry, even at this point in time, space effects were not this bad on the norm. There is no excuse they could not have made this stuff work.
Two things, Jova. One, you're telling me that the world of Mario wasn't already fantastical enough, and second, I'm gonna have to agree with
No, Pedro. I didn't say that it wasn't fantastical enough. What I'm saying is that the movie was trying to do its own take on a fantastical setting. Basically, you know, instead doing a fantastical version of New York, which was an interesting concept in and of itself. So, you know, and you know what? I'll give Super Mario Brothers credit. The effects there aged better than this. I mean, yeah, there are some effects like the weird devolval ray effects, but other than that, I actually do like looking back at that movie.
Wait, Saffron Burrows was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, he was...
Victoria Hand.
You mean?
Yeah.
And she was also in some show called Mozart in the Jungle, whatever that is. She was in Agatha Christie's Marple?
Okay, Mozart in the Jungle? That sounds like a plot so crazy.
It's a comedy drama web series on Amazon.
Not just that. I also.
God, that guy looks like what's the name of the guy who plays Captain Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man?
Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That guy with the brown hair who just left looked like Dennis Leary, who is very much on Fox's payroll.
Also, Jova, honestly, I'm gonna have to agree with Doug. I prefer the anime movie.
Well, no duh.
Animated movie of what, sorry?
The anime movie of Super Mario Brothers.
There's basically this mysterious anime movie that nobody knows where it came from because...
And it's amazingly weird. Like, it's so bizarre, and yet it's so...
I know where it came from.
Fun
That reminds me, did you cover the English dub version of it?
English dub, yeah.
I know where it came from.
Actually, it was relatively no. Remember, in Smash 4, Luigi actually has an old costume based on that.
Didn't he already have that in Smash Brothers Brawl, though?
No, it was in a mod for Project Time, I think.
Oh, a mod.
Eat peace!
But Tio, unlike Lost in Space, we didn't have a long narrative of text telling us that we're in...
Yeah, again, all we've seen on Wiki Rappi were their ships. Oh, finally, we're boarding one. So finally we get to see...
Oh my god, we actually saw one!
It's very granted, it's very blurry and shaky, but it's something. 1 hour and 15 minutes in, practically.
We haven't actually seen the proper villains.
We can barely make it out anyway. It's all the dust, it's all the fog in the way. It's like
my guess is that the makeup for Ram was so hard that we needed to conceive it the most.
This was also made by Fox, the same people who distributed Phantom Menace. I don't care how much influence they had. Fox, seriously, Phantom Menace, that's all I'm just gonna say.
This is the same that happened in Arago. Like, we finished the makeup budget and they couldn't get Urgali's proper design.
Jump scare, since we seem to be doing Alien now.
It looks more like Doom.
Seriously, it's like the developers of Superman 64 took over.
Leroy!
Damn it, Leroy.
Okay, I'm gonna be... Okay, so I've been meaning to ask, what exactly is the whole reference with people running at people attacking and shouting Leroy? I never got that meme.
Essentially, Jova, now it's been confirmed, was fake, but back in like 2006, the early years of YouTube, someone posted a video of a mob raid in World of Warcraft where they were planning, it was a high-level raid, so we need to be having a careful strategy. And this guy, a paladin called Leroy Jenkins,
guys, they found the Navcom.
And now we're in Mass Effect.
We're an alien now.
He
runs into the room while the other guys are planning the strategy, shouting Leroy Jenkins, and the others, and he essentially fucked up the entire raid. But unfortunately, we learned, confirmed recently, that it was a staged video. Unfortunately.
Oh wait, so it was staged all the time back then?
Yeah, in order to make it popular.
Huh. So they predicted internet memes.
Well, more like a fact, Jova. Back in the day, internet was in its early stage, and we had some prototypes of the old memes. It wasn't already a level of Rage Comics, but some stuff were emerging, like those flash animation, like the Badgers. So they wanted to capitalize on that. Anyway, point is, kill Raffi killed, secured the artifact. Mission accomplished.
Alright, so now what?
Yeah, it's like half an hour left to go.
So, can we go home now?
We finally get to see the kill Raffi, so these small sequences where they don't talk, they barely fight, and they just die.
Let me guess. It turns out that one of the humans here is a traitor, and that's gonna be our final boss.
I wish. Also, one of the actors I recognize him also was in The Core as the French guy.
Oh, yeah, we covered that movie a while ago.
No, not yet, Jova, because it's relatively long.
Wasn't that the one with Tom Hardy in it?
Nope. It's the one with the guy who did Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight.
You know, I just
realized... wait. The Core, is that movie that the Nostalgia Critic reviewed?
No, it's the one that Sci-Fi Guy reviewed. Go ahead, Weebs.
This film has something else in common with the Mortal Kombat movie, other than being from the same writer.
Go ahead.
It's really boring.
Yeah,
If I had to be honest, though, Dweebs, I will take the Mortal Kombat movie over this any day.
Which one?
Both of them. I can at least squeeze some fun out of them. Here, it's so scarce.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of
even you laughed a lot when we watched Annihilation.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of.
I'm comparing it to the first movie, the one this guy actually wrote.
Yeah, even still, I'd take the Mortal Kombat movie over this. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a bad movie, but even then, there's only so much rage I can actually muster at this because, well, again, the actual video games themselves didn't have much plot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still is a disgrace to the series from what I've seen and heard, but this doesn't even really do much to warrant my anger except for...
69.
Except for its possible racism.
Yeah, the only main reason to be angry about this is how it completely destroys the credibility of what was once a great franchise.
Such a generic sci-fi movie that
this is actually a weird case of a film killing a franchise.
Yeah.
When again, in this case, it doesn't help that the director of this film created the series.
To be fair, Dwibs, I don't think...
The series was already dead at this point. Remember, last game came out in 1997.
Yeah, honestly, if anything killed it, it was EA when they pulled the plug.
I wonder what the sales were like. Although, funny enough, there was an Xbox 360 Live Arcade game released in 2007 of this.
Oh, how nice.
Oh, I'll read now.
Well,
right.
At least I have another reason now to add to the list when we get to our eventual E3 2018 conference with EA.
Well, we gotta do like Activision. No, Activision don't have that.
Activision are smart to know that they would get lambasted if they had their own E3 conference.
Activision are gonna have their obligatory panel at the Sony conference with Call of Duty.
Anyway, wait, hold on. Which Sony conference?
Usually,
you mean the non-existent Sony PlayStation Experience conference?
Difference, Jova. I'm confident that E3 will actually have something. Oh no, it's colliding.
Okay. I thought you were talking about PlayStation Experience, which is now apparently dead.
No, you were talking about E3. I was talking about E3. Simple.
Neat.
Exactly.
Simple.
It's never just that. Like it's also.
All right. Can you pull out? You can.
How?
Good thing that in this case it actually worked.
Yay! Shut it down.
Okay, and here's the interesting thing, guys.
What?
Hold on. I think it's now that.
First, well, yeah, the CGI is horrible.
Is it now, Dibs? Is it now, Dibs, when Freddie Prinze Jr. has to take over? Well, not so much act, more like.
It's been a while since I've seen this film. I saw it like a couple of years ago.
You were remembering fine so far, so I was hoping you could have.
Why are they out here again?
Still killing some Kilrathi.
Yeah, I think it is now.
Yeah, there you go. We need to. The direct order is to just retreat and leave her.
Oh yeah, that's right. Saffron Bowers is gonna sacrifice herself as well.
You know, there's no reason to sacrifice yourself, girlie.
Not just that, Jova. Remember, all the characters that are officially dying right now are only the female ones.
Not just that, but Jova,
aren't they also supposed to be main characters in the games too?
Yes.
Because that's what's nice, killing them off. It works so well in the Resident Evil movie franchise. Oh wait. What's that? You didn't like that we made Nemesis into a sympathetic character? What's that? You didn't like that we had Jill kind of play the damsel for Alice? What's that? You didn't like Chris Redfield's non-treatment, and you get where I'm going.
See ya, Space Cowboy.
I'd rather be watching Cowboys vs. Aliens. Is she supposed to be... Oh, never mind. I guess she's still...
I'm sad.
Who was the composer?
Why?
David Arnold and Kevin Kiner.
You know, it's not like you could just come back to the ship and we could retreat like we're going to.
I don't know.
This guy is taking this way too seriously.
Yeah, he's sweating like a...
Well, at least someone's trying.
No. I don't mean it in the sense that, he's overacting. I mean, in universe, this guy is taking it way too seriously to the point where it's clouding his judgment.
Well, it is a war. I guess that's warping his judgment.
War is hell.
Is hell.
Then why the heck did they put him in charge whenever they did a psych eval of the guy?
Good
Hey,
question.
Mark Hamill, can you speak to me, please?
Okay.
So we're like 15 minutes before the end of the movie, and what have we done so far?
Again, what was the point of Saffron supposedly sacrificing herself since they got away just fine?
Drama.
Oh my God!
The Kilrafi
actually talking
and
to
they
each other.
they look like crap.
Is this what they look like in the games?
No,
No.
let me show you how they look like.
Although,
how
funny
they're
enough-
supposed to look like.
Funny enough, Chris Roberts has never liked the game design for the Kilrafi, but apparently he didn't like this one either.
Oh, wait.
They look like lions.
Hold on,
Jova,
so who was the
normally.
one who made this then?
We don't know the designer. Let me just give you the.
Oh!
Okay.
The
even if
Kilrafi
you
look
did-
a lot better in the games.
Oh, you've already checked. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They're supposed to look like felines. They're
Lions.
big cats. So some
Yes.
of them look like tigers as well.
But yeah. I mean, okay, so I really have to wonder how unified was this project though, if even the director did not like certain things about this movie? Because now this implies that someone did something without his knowing, because otherwise he would have vetoed it.
I get the feeling he just didn't care.
Huh? So gee, no wonder EA made a deal with him. They have similar minds. Just say random numbers. That means something.
Remember, Jova. Now he's gonna prove himself to the others by using his pilgrim skills to save us all, and which will, of course, overcome the prejudice that's been the big dramatic thing of this movie.
I'm sorry.
apparently.
Did I miss a scene, a line of dialogue? Why did Saffron have to die?
No, don't worry, Jova. Hold on to that thought.
She's gonna show up alive, isn't she?
Very good.
At the 11th hour.
More like the 11th hour and 59th minute.
Aha! But don't you see, Jova? A pilgrim! A filthy pilgrim saved us all! Clearly we were wrong all this time.
Oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot about that prejudice.
Well, the movie
That's
kind
because
of
it's stupid.
Well, I
And
don't know,
there
honestly,
goes
guys,
the enemy ship, just like that. That was
I'll be
disgustingly
honest,
easy.
guys.
Yes, Waves.
I think the stupidest thing in this movie is the whole pretend that dead people never existed.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't look like he's saving them so much as he's just navigating through an asteroid field. So what exactly did he do that helped them? Because it looks like they took care of the main enemy ship.
Yeah, sorry, I cannot take you seriously with that on your face.
So, he's the main hero because he managed to navigate through an asteroid field.
Without computers.
And never mind the fact that the main people on the ship...
And now he's trying to call for reinforcements.
So there you go. Here's the thing. This was actually one situation where his skill came in handy. But this is such a rare, isolated occasion.
Not only that, but it doesn't even really benefit the main cast as a whole. It just benefits him from what we've seen. Like, in these kinds of plots,
He was apparently trying to go off and get reinforcements from someone.
And yet apparently he failed?
Ugh.
Oh, Venus. Wrong color, dolts. Venus is purple. It's Jupiter that's supposed to be orange.
You see, Jova, Chris looked into his science book from 7th grade, and he based Venus from there.
Jova, if he can't spell his own characters' names correctly, what hope does he have of remembering what color the planets are?
I'd expect visual hopes. I mean, hey, it's apparently Square Enix's idea that Americans and Brits are too stupid to, to understand text. So we just need pictures to tell us stuff. That was their release feeling with Mystic Quest. So, is this another enemy ship? Like, seriously, they've blown up at least 2 or 3 so far.
Cop.
Maybe we should have, set up a blockade around Earth for this sort of thing.
But they didn't prepare for this, I guess.
I'm sorry, he just looks so stupid.
He looks like the bad guys who wear monocles.
You mean the British?
Yeah, so yeah.
That reminds me.
All Mark Hamill gets to do here is just recite computer stuff.
That reminds me, Dibs, I need to show you this wonderful Jaguar car commercial where it's basically a long list of why the British are best for playing villains.
Funny enough, Joe, I've seen a video of how BBC America advertised our version of Law and Order by having the American narrator of the US version list off how our law system differs from America's.
Nice.
I'll show it to you after this.
So more effort than this movie. Good to know.
Yeah, I'll show it to you after this.
And I will show you the commercial as well.
Okay. Seriously, they look like the things. They look like the toys you find in Ooze Cops or something.
And yet, a year after this,
it's a good thing that Kilravi are just as stupid as our main heroes.
And yet,
how did these people manage to colonize space again?
And yet, a year later, we get the even dumber handled Cyclonians, or whatever they're called in Battlefield Earth. Cyclonians, I think. Because remember, guys, those aliens sometimes have subtitles, but other times they don't. Sometimes they speak English, other times they don't. Like, it's
and sometimes we...
Reversal engines.
What was that, Gio? Gio?
I think he I think he's cutting out.
Oh no, we're losing Tio over the interference. And I can't even muster the strength to care.
Oh yeah, this thing here.
Oh, what? What's with the giant space penis?
Yeah. What Tio said in the chat is the Korafi's fault.
Seriously, why is that thing so phallic?
Well, it doesn't matter now.
Full power.
It's Chris Roberts giving you the finger, I guess.
Pedro, the finger doesn't involve a dick.
Fine. It's literally him pulling down his pants and showing you his dick.
And that's another enemy ship.
What happened was the one that teleported. The one that got teleported got
absorbed into a black hole. Yeah.
Wait.
That ship.
So let me get this straight. So the enemies just got caught up by a random black hole that transported them in front of enemy lines.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you gonna say, Pedro?
That ship destruction effect looked so bad.
Yeah, and again, I get it. It was 1999, and then you had a $30 million budget. Although I'm pretty sure.
This is no excuse. Like I said, EA, Fox, whoever should have given this in the budget it properly needed.
I'm actually wondering though, how popular was this series back during its heyday?
Well, the fact that even my dad and mom don't recall it speaks volumes.
Much like with Ultima,
maybe they gave it the budget relating to the value of the franchise or something.
No. That is no excuse. Look, I don't.
It's not just that. I don't know if that logic can work in the Hollywood.
It's one of those things.
If they were going to have that little faith in it, then it should have been a TV movie. You don't put a theatrical movie that you have no faith in like that.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things that you have to understand that while the Wing Commander movies were one of the rare exceptions of an FMV game done right, the truth of the matter is that the FMV genre was had a horrible reputation because much like back in the 80s with the Atari 2600, it was practically impossible to waddle through all the shit to find the good ones.
Yeah, and that's the sad part, Dweebs. Wing Commander was probably one of the only few franchises who actually gave a shit in that department.
Well, there was also Command and Conquer.
That too, and because of that, that genre got kind of shoved away by the press and immediately, written off as garbage, and that's why nowadays it's just mostly being forgotten.
Although,
you know what's funny though?
What?
Wing Commander and Command and Conquer are both FMV video game series whose companies that made them eventually got purchased by EA.
And both sides and both died terrible deaths.
Although they did do a brief revival of Command and Conquer in the late 2000s, and they at least tried to conclude the story of the main series in Command and Conquer 4 in 2010.
Saffron!
They did it badly, but they still did it.
Wait, when was Saffron established to be alive?
She had 1 hour of oxygen left when they left her.
Okay, so they must have picked up her shift off screen.
Yup.
Also,
Dweebs, you have to remember one other thing. Despite having some console ports, like on the Sega Mega Drive Genesis, this series was mainly on PC. That's where it was strong. So the PC fan base back in the day was relatively niche. Much like with Ultima.
That said, also, do people really consider FMV even a genre of its own? Like,
back in the 90s, it was.
Well,
Jesus, guys, French kissing already.
Well, I mean, to be fair, weren't FMVs, weren't there such a thing as even animated ones, like, the kinds in, like, old Square Enix games, too, on the PlayStation?
Not really.
Like the FFMV cutscenes and stuff like that.
When we say FFMV games, Joe, we mean stuff like Dragon's Lair, Phantasmagoria, that kind of stuff, where it's
stuff that use live action,
where the game is like 90% video and 10% actual gameplay.
And that's it.
Wait, that's it?
That's it. The movie doesn't even end. It just kind of stops. Like Chris Roberts said, "Fuck this shit, I'm done," and run off the project. Brilliant.
Oh yeah, and by the way, the visual effects were actually done by the game developers.
Fuck me.
I don't understand, Chris.
I'm actually made.
Why'd you get the video game developers to do the effects?
Maybe he deliberately wanted to kill the franchise.
Wow, no wonder EA agreed with it. They really do think alike.
I have no idea, and I don't want to think.
Voice of Merlin is question.
Mark Hamill.
There's a guy named Merlin.
Credit the joke. It's the computer job.
It's basically Mark Hamill was uncredited. So
okay, just gonna say right now, this movie does not deserve this awesome soundtrack that I'm hearing right now.
Also, you bothered to get Mark Hamill. You don't cast him as fucking Maverick, and you don't even credit him. Best actor in the movie, and you don't even credit him. Fuck you.
Well, I'll be fair. I mean, there were a couple of other decent actors here. I mean, you had David Suchet and David Warner, and them guys with the foreign-sounding names. They were okay.
All right, I'm gonna start with the final thoughts.
Gaffers,
This movie is a disaster. Playing through, I'm not gonna even bother dedicate too much time to it. It's a disaster. Don't watch it. Play the games and let it be a testament on how to not do a video game movie, even with the original creator on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the movie that pretty much killed the video game movies for a while.
Yeah, that's a good point. We didn't have many video game adaptations for a while.
2 years after this, we got the Tomb Raider film.
And I like that. That movie's actually good because it knew what it was.
Go next.
I'll go next.
I'll go next.
Well, let me just, before you start this, let me just rephrase that then. By killing, I mean, after this movie, nobody could take video game movies seriously after this.
Yeah, people took the Tomb Raider movie seriously enough because it worked, but that's another tale. Anyway, go ahead, Dwibs.
Because of Angelina Jolie's teeth.
Go ahead, Dwibs.
Yeah, again, I haven't played the game, so I don't know how faithful they are. But I can certainly say as a movie, it's awful. I mean, the effects are terrible. The acting is really hit and miss. The music's fine, but it doesn't really save it all that much. And the story, no freaking sense. It's just, I mean, to anyone who's not a fan of the games, even they'll be pissed off, but at least they'll get some aspects here. Because I'm not a fan of the series. I have no clue what's happening. Oh yeah, that's me. That's me done. This movie sucks.
Yeah, this movie was boring. Like, I mean, really boring. Like, look, okay, it's technically not the worst adaptation because the games themselves didn't have much, but this also speaks volumes as to how much they screwed the pooch on this, that they couldn't actually think of a proper narrative for this. Like, heck, even Sega, before Sonic actually got more of a narrative, managed to make game show adaptations, an OVA movie that did the adaptation well. Come on, EA, come on, Fox, and come on, Chris Roberts. Like, seriously, they messed up big time here. Even if they couldn't get the big name actors back from the game series, they give the actors that are actually in there such terrible stuff to work with. It's really an unpleasant story that dirties the world up just for the sake of trying to make everyone take it seriously. Like, seriously, again, this is like one of the few video game adaptations I've seen that seems ashamed to be based off of a movie. I mean, based off of a video game. So it tries to distance itself from the game just to get people to take it seriously. It's terrible. And yet, it's still not the worst, because its main problem is that it's boring. The music is good. I'll give it that. That's like the one good thing. And even then, the music has quite a few low points here and there. Whew. But, yeah. Seriously, though, to everyone involved in this movie, to Chris Roberts, to EA, to Fox, to Digital, to Original, and to Origin, you messed up here. Big time.
Well, again, other than
filmed on location in the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, Europe, and screw you.
Well, but I don't think the country could really control what the movie's quality was going to be like.
Europe is a continent, and besides, I wasn't saying screw you to the continent as a whole. Oh, yeah, this movie was a waste of my time, but what else? Just don't watch it, people.
Yeah, so that's one other video game movie we can cross off our list.
Hey, Dibs, don't forget about Pedro.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you. Sorry.
It's okay, Jova. I'm Portuguese. I'm used to it.
Hey, America remembers you guys just fine.
No, guys. That's it. Pedro died, so I just forgot him already. So
exactly.
Ouch.
He never existed.
Well, remember, Teo, there's that episode of I Am Weasel where Baboon and Weasel leave from Spain to discover the new world, and then Baboon turns the ship around and hits Portugal, and Portugal sinks. So maybe.
Alright then.
I'll show you that clip after this. Anyway, yeah, this movie is terrible. It's an insult to the fans of the games. It's an insult to people who like good entertainment. It's terrible. That's it. I don't really have anything to add. That hasn't been said already. This movie's dead. Let's just pretend it never existed.
Yeah, so that was...
What did we just commentate on?
Again?
Exactly.
I don't know, but it seemed really... Well, it mustn't have really made an impression, so I don't think it was even a real movie. Pretend it never existed. In fact, what are we even doing here anyway? What were we talking about?
I think we were talking about this movie called Beowulf.
See ya.
See ya.